Hey, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? We're gonna let some people catch up with this boy, that boy, exquisite podcast, exquisite podcast. We're gonna let some people catch up with us, family. Let some people catch up with us. I don't know if you're looking at this video on YouTube, Instagram, Tickalacker, Fan Base, Red Note, LinkedIn, wherever you're seeing this video at. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Listen, I want to give this young man his flowers today. Dr. Lionel Green with WBGR TV Network. I'm going to say it again. I want to give you your flowers. I want to salute you today, Dr. Lionel Green with WBGR TV Network. That's where I learned my skill set from. I love you, brother. I want to give you your flowers while you still living. While you still living. I'm doing my best to try to build this podcast business up. I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I was learned, what I was taught, how I see that you operated. I'm not trying to be like you, but I'm just trying to implement you. I'm just trying to implement you. You understand, Dr. Green? Dr. Green from WBGR TV Network. And let me tell you guys something. While I'm on this podcast live with Exquisite Podcast, somebody texted me or went on our live a couple of days ago saying, RickTitus, why are you advertising WBGR TV on your podcast? Because that's who taught me. That's where I learned my skill set at. See, that's what you janky Negroes out there are thinking, not to share the platform. Hey man, it's enough business out here for everybody. It's enough business out here for everybody. So listen, don't come on my platform and talk about the WBGR TV network. That's a beginning stage that I went through. So Dr. Green, WBGR TV network, I love you because you developed that skill set in myself. That brother RickTitus. So I'm gonna lay down on that one. So let me shout out this shout out. Let me give this shout out to that girl, your girl Natasha Carpenter, with that excellent tea, that excellent coffee. You can find her on Red Note, Fan Base, Tickalacker, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And listen, tell her RickTitus sent you over there to get that excellent tea and that excellent coffee. Yeah, family. Yeah, high-end equipment. Pro mic mixers, everything you need to sound off with your podcast. We're renting out podcast studios. Listen, let me make sure we're clear on this. You don't have to be in the state of Maryland. We're in Waldorf, Maryland, in the DMV at the St. Charles Town Center Mall, right around the corner from J.C. Penney. Everybody in the DMV knows where Waldorf, Maryland is located at. Everybody in the DMV knows where Waldorf, Maryland is located at. And listen, family, listen. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Subscribe, kick those doggone thumbs up, hit that doggone notification bell. Listen, donation. Yeah, you can donate what you like to keep this YouTube channel up and popping. Let's look in that donation box. In that donation box, I see Memphis, Tennessee. I see Columbus, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Madison, South Carolina, Clinton, Maryland, Allentown, Camp Springs, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, and Danville, Virginia, and Moncks Corner, South Carolina. I appreciate the donation. I definitely appreciate the donation. I love it. I appreciate you. I will notify you every time you donate to this RickTitus channel, on YouTube. So listen, family, before we get into this podcast, before we get into the podcast business, go get your tea, go get your coffee, go get your popcorns. So listen, this is what I want to do. I want to welcome you guys into the Exquisite Podcast. I want to welcome you guys here. Listen, family, y'all don't know how much it costs to book a professional photographer. Y'all don't know. Book your sessions today. Book your sessions today, family. Book your event. Book your event today for next month. You can book a graduation party. You can book a kids party. You can book a family anniversary, a mother and father. You can book a granddaddy, grandmother party. Hmm? You can do a family party. Huh? You can do a baby shower party. It's a whole lot of type of parties that you can do. But you got to book your event today for next month. We got limited spaces out here. We got limited spaces, family. Listen, we got 43 million, not 43,000, but we got 43 million FBAs out here. All I want is just 1%, just that 1%. So listen, before we get in, let's talk about the podcast. A lot of people say they don't know what to talk about on the podcast. You can talk about religion, you can talk about entertainment, you can talk about health and wellness. Huh? You can talk about sporting goods or sporting events. Hmm? You can talk about clothing goods, something that you're selling. You can talk about the diabetes out here that's in our community. You can talk about the kidney disease out here. You can talk about a whole lot of things that can help some people out with your podcast. And look, we are renting our podcast studios out. So if you want to do a podcast, you want to get your podcast screened, get in touch with that boy. Get in touch with that boy, RickTitus. Get in touch with that boy, RickTitus, so we can help you screen your podcast all through the internet. So we can help you screen that podcast, family. Listen, cut that donut in what they call the DM. Click that donut, what they call the DM, to get your podcast up and running, to scream your podcast. But listen, let me drop some of these cracker jacks out of the box here. You guys heard of this thing called eminent domain? I did a video on it earlier today. But this thing called eminent domain. Listen, we got some FBA's older family that's in the state of Georgia that's going through some eminent domain problem. I never heard of this doggone word eminent domain. I never heard of it. So don't say it. RickTitus said you need to look up eminent domain. You look it up on your own. You can go on Google, or you can go up in the ceilings, or you can go on YouTube and look up eminent domain. But look, check this out, family. Put your earplugs on. Put your earplugs on. Put your earplugs on. So this is what's happening. This is exactly what's happening in the world today in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, these individuals already bought their house. I thought when you buy the house, you buy the land. The house and the land is yours. You buy the land, the house is yours. You buy the house, the land is yours. But look, this is what's happening in this Cracker Jack box with this shenanigan that's going on in the state of Georgia. So they want to run a railroad in her backyard. They own like 600 acres. They was blessed with their family member, with their ancestry down there in the state of Georgia with that land. And they trying to run a railroad in the backyard. I said, what in the heck is going on? What kind of Cracker Jackson shenanigan is going on in the state of Georgia? So that's what's happening with some foundational Black Americans down there, with some FBAs. And listen, family, you might want to check your eminent domain in whatever city you live in too, because we don't know what's going on. Let me drink some of this tea I got here. Martin. Yeah, family. You might want to check out some of those donuts I just dropped to you, family. But listen, family, let's get into the pastors. Let's get into screaming ministries out here. Listen, a lot of people, you don't even have to come to the studio. All you got to do is have one of these mobile phones, one of these contraptions right here. That's all you got to have. That's all you got to have is a cell phone, a laptop, or a desktop. And then all you need is one of these right here, one of these desk panels for podcasts. I mean, if you can buy one, but they're very expensive. And then you got to buy the right ones. You got to buy the right ones to hook up to your laptop or your desktop. Hmm? So I bought like 3 of these things. That thing cost me every bit about 300, close to $325. Huh? Depending on where you're buying them from. But if you want to go the cheap way out, you're only gonna be on air for about a good 30 days, maybe less than that. So those are the type of equipments that you need to have. You need to have that backdrop, that marker, that location, that microphone, that panel, that cell phone. And you don't even have to be in the state of Maryland to get your podcast or get your ministry streamed. You can be anywhere in the US of A. Hmm? You can be anywhere in the US of A and internationally. To get your podcast screened, to get your ministry screened. You don't even have to be here in the state of Maryland. All you need to do is be in the US or international. But listen, Pastor, this is what I want to talk to you guys about. This is what I want to bring to your attention. Listen, the reason why you're not being seen, the reason why you're not being seen or you're not being heard is because you won't let exquisite be that heavy burden for you. Let us do the hard work for you. That's why nobody's seeing you. That's why nobody's hearing you. And that's why you're not touching anyone, Pastor. Pastor, let that boy, RickTitus, scream your ministry. Huh? Let him scream your ministry. Let them say, well, come on in. Come on in, RickTitus. Scream my ministry. That's all you got to do. So listen, family, we are renting out our podcast studios. We're renting out our podcast studios. So what I want you to do is go to our Facebook group, Exquisite Podcast on Facebook group. It's a public group. And also, if you are looking to do a podcast or you want to rent a podcast, go to my email, exquisitepodcast60@gmail.com. Exquisitepodcast60@gmail.com. Give me your full name, your email address, your telephone number, your backdrops, your markup, the name of your show, and the time of your show. That's all you got to do. Just email me, exquisitepodcast60@gmail.com. Family, it's 43 million, not 43,000. It's 43 million FBAs out there. All I need is 1% to do business with Exquisite Podcast. That's a beautiful name. They gave that boy a studio, a podcast studio. They gave that boy an 8,000 square foot Exquisite Podcast studio, and we want to rent it out to you in the community. In the community, we want to rent our podcast studios out to you so you can do business with us. This is that boy from Maysville, South Carolina, Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad, Sumter County. I was born in D.C., Washington, D.C., but I came out of the mud in Maysville, South Carolina, Sumter County. I'm coming to you. That Exquisite Podcast is coming for you. A lot of people in Maysville don't even know nothing about the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad. They don't even know about it. They're walking right over it, and they don't even know. But that boy RickTitus is going to tell you, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, listen, check out that eminent domain. Check that out. Check it out in your state. And also, we are renting out podcast spaces. So if you want a podcast to be screened, or you want to have your podcast done in the studio, you can rent it out. Just get in touch with that boy RickTitus so we can go with the particulars. And you don't have to be in the U.S. Listen, you don't have to be here in the U.S. in the States, in Maryland. We're located in Waldorf, Maryland, at the St. Charles Town Center Mall, right around the corner from J.C. Penney's. You don't even have to be here in the location. You can be international. All you need is a cell phone. All you need is one of these contraptions right here, and a desktop and a laptop and high-speed internet. Let us do all that hard work for you. If you're international, just get in touch with that boy RickTitus so we can go ahead and scream your podcast, so we can go ahead and scream your ministry, pastors. So we can go ahead and uplift you. That's what we're doing in the community. We are renting out our studio. We got 8,000 square feet. So why can't we do something for the community? Why can't These FBAs help this brother, help that young man, help this young brother boost his podcast game with exquisite podcasts. We got high-end equipments, pro mics, and everything that you need to sound off with your podcast. So this is that boy RickTitus with exquisite podcasts. I'll see you guys on another video. But guess what? Who said it couldn't be done?